Alright, Kiss Army, today we're playing a little game of catch-up.
And stay tuned to the end of the episode because you won't believe the amount of Kiss merch that I've mustered.
Ooh.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on episode 135 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. My name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
And we have a lot to talk about today. We did not upload an episode last weekend.
Right.
I was away on business. And so it seems like every week there's just new news coming out.
Yeah,
in the
it's
Kiss
exciting.
World. So today we're going to have a fun, chill, relaxing episode talking about some of the recent developments and just, having a good time. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, as well as subscribe to us on Patreon. I'm going to go ahead and just throw it over to Daphne because I know that she's got something to say, something to start the episode with. So Daphne, go ahead. Take it away.
Yeah, so we're obviously starting out with our Kiss Spotlight as we normally do. And I've got a really good spotlight today. It's a book, which I don't know if my Kiss Spotlight has ever been a book before I can think of. But my spotlight today is The Order of the Rose by none other than Joey Quesada.
Absolutely.
So this just came out less than a week ago.
Yeah, about
for
a week
us.
or two, yeah.
Yeah, maybe last Friday or something. And we obviously, I think you had pre-ordered it, so we got it immediately in the mail. You can get this only on Amazon as far as I know. I think there's going to be an audiobook of it as well. But this is Joey's interpretation of the story of the Elder.
Yeah, the Elder expanded.
It's so cool. I've only had it a few days, and I'm already, at least...
She's almost done.
I'm almost done with it. I'm about at least 3/4 of the way through. And I could probably finish it tonight, honestly. Once you start, you could just... It's addicting. If you have the time, you could just read the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed. I don't know. I know Joey's put out quite a few books before. I don't know if he's done fiction before.
I have no idea.
If he has, I have not read it, but it is very cool. It is very descriptive, puts you in the world. There's so many little hidden Kiss references and Easter eggs that are woven into the story. If you're a reader at all, I highly recommend checking it out. And honestly, even if you're not...
I was going to say I'm not, and I still enjoy it.
Yes, and yeah, you've already read quite a few chapters as well. Even if you're not, I still really highly recommend it, because it's very readable. I know that sounds stupid, but it's not...
Yeah, some books are dense.
Some books are a little daunting and a little okay, there's a lot of kind of boring stuff to get through before the good stuff. This is not that. There's no boring parts. There's no unnecessarily long parts. It's pretty much action.
Yeah. It's a story that once you start reading, it's hard to put it down. It's hard to get away from it.
Yeah.
And not just because it has to do with Kiss.
Right.
And the Elder. It's, it stands alone on its own.
Exactly. You wouldn't even have to know anything about Kiss to get it. But
if you are a Kiss fan.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I knew there would be obviously references, but there's even more than I expected. There's just little names of characters, little lines here and there that are references, and I'm just absolutely loving it. So I highly recommend. That is my spotlight for the week.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you read, you don't play around. I mean,
No.
How many books have you read so far in 2025?
Well, I've gotten back into reading after kind of being bad about it for the last few years. So for the last year or less, I've been reading a lot more, and I think this will be my 17th book that I finished.
17 books in 4 months.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
my goal was 25 for the year, and I'm set to meet that a lot sooner.
You're going to meet that at the halfway point.
Yeah.
So, well, congratulations. That's really incredible.
I've gotten back into it.
But yeah, even me, the non-reader, once I started reading that book, it was really good, and it's hard to put down. So I think I'm only 9-10 chapters in. But yeah, if you're a Kiss fan, you're an Elder fan, definitely pick this book up. Again, I'll have a link in the description for you. It's on Amazon. Joey's been on the show before. Everybody who knows Joey knows he's a huge Kiss fan, huge Elder fan, and so to have this book, which is, again, it's kind of like the Elder expanded. It takes the story of the Elder that was largely unfinished when Kiss was putting their concept album together. There was no movie, there was no story to go with it. There was just the album and what we got on the inside of the gatefold, and so Joey basically takes the story and fleshes out in his way, gives us new characters, gives us a setting, a place, and it's a really good representation of the Elder.
I love it.
I love it. So yeah, I think if you're a fan of the Elder, then you will too. So That's my co-spotlight as well.
Yeah.
I do have one other small Kiss spotlight just to kind of mention here as we're talking about the Kiss spotlight, and that's Kiss Alive 3.
Ooh.
That's what's been in my car. That's what got me. I went to get some Moneybag soda today and was jamming Kiss Alive 3. That's one of the ones that stays in my car. I have a copy, I have my copy in here, but then I have a car copy, I guess we'll say, that I just leave in the car to listen to. So that's what's been, as we're getting into warm weather, I've been listening to Kiss Alive 3. So
I love it.
I figured that I would, also mention that today as my Kiss spotlight. But like I said, today's episode is going to be fun, chill, relaxing, a little bit more laid back. We don't have any earth-shattering news, groundbreaking news, which is good. I just need to have a chill day today, a chill episode. But one of the things that we're going to be talking about over the next several months, of course, is the Kiss Army storms Vegas.
Of course, that's the big thing right now.
That's the big thing right now. It's going to be happening in November. So we're going to be hearing, of course, new developments as this stuff rolls out, but we did get a couple of announcements this past week about some guests and some things that's going to be happening. So I thought, well, let's talk about that and see, what we think about that. So the one that made me the happiest, but surprised me the least, was Tommy Thayer's inclusion in the event. So it kind of makes sense that Tommy would be there. I don't see Tommy Thayer not being there. I felt like people suddenly online were like, oh, so Eric and Tommy are no longer in Kiss. Did they get fired? Did they...
No one said that.
It's like, obviously not. Tommy and Eric will forever always be in the fold. But, yeah, I mean, it's nice to know. We said it was Kiss with special guests, so we're kind of figuring out what it means by special guest. And so we have Bruce already announced. Now we have Tommy Thayer. We also have Black and Blue.
Yes. That's a fun one.
Tommy's, so Tommy's band, the entire band will be there, which, that's really cool. I don't know when the last time Black and Blue did anything, together. I don't think it was that long ago.
Really?
Though.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think it was too terrible long ago, but I don't know. Either way, it's still really cool to know they're going to get together and play. As well as Sebastian Bach will be there.
Of course.
Everybody knows he's, huge Kiss fan, so... I'm not sure if he'll be performing. I assume he will. If he's announced as a special guest, I would assume.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really specify.
I mean, maybe it did. I just missed it. But yeah, he'll be there. And then we also have 2 Kiss tribute bands.
Yes.
That's going to be also making appearances at this event. We have both Kiss Nation and Mr. Speed.
Love it.
Which was...
I've missed Mr. Speed.
Yeah, Mr. Speed is fantastic. I've never seen Kiss Nation, but obviously they got to be incredible.
They have to be great to have been hired.
If you're going to be a part of this official Kiss event. But I thought it was cool. So obviously Kiss themselves aren't going to be in makeup. They're just going to be... Kiss unmasked, playing electrically, but you're still going to see the characters, the Demon, the Star Child, the Catman, the Spaceman.
I love it.
Or, well, in Mr. Speed's case, the Fox.
That's true. They do have...
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You're going to have the Fox there because they're bringing... I mean, assuming they're going to be still using the unmasked costumes, stage, and, they still have the Fox, Eric Carr.
Oh, I hope so. That's really so cool.
That'll be awesome. And I'm wondering if, since we have Black and Blue performing, we have Bruce Kulick performing, and Sebastian Bach, and who knows who else, I'm kind of just thinking, like, how the event's going to go down. Is it going to be, this person on this stage playing at the same time as this person on this stage over here in this other room? Not. Because if you've got Kiss playing and tribute bands playing, Black and Blue playing, it's like, what are you going to do? Start it at 3 p.m.?
Well, it's a 2-day event, isn't it?
3.
Okay, so that's plenty of time. That's plenty of time to spread that stuff out and still have plenty of time for people to shop. I think...
It just makes me wonder how it's going to go down. I don't think... multiple artists, because it's like, you have a lot of people playing, so it's like, what are we going to do? Start music at 3 p.m.? It's like, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but I think spread out over 3 days, I think there will be enough time for everything.
I wonder if we even know how often Kiss is going to perform. Do we know if Kiss is going to perform just the one show? Is it going to be night 1, night 2, night 3?
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Will they be playing all 3 nights?
I'll be really interested to see an actual schedule when it gets closer.
Yeah, I'm sure that stuff won't happen for a while, but it's just fun to kind of speculate.
Yeah.
Bill Starkey and Jay Evans are also going to be there. Those,
as they should be.
Everybody knows those are the 2 that are credited for being the creators of the Kiss Army.
And this whole event is like a celebration of the Kiss Army, so it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really cool to know that they're both going to be there. kind of puts a damper on my Indiana event, though.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted them to be there.
It's like they heard
in
you.
Indiana. Yeah, maybe I don't know, but still really cool to know that they're going to be there and have, they're actually going to be.
Yeah, they deserve the recognition.
Absolutely, they're going to be recognized by the band. They're going to be there. It's a very important event, so I'm glad to see that. It's shaping up to be a really cool event. I mean, I doubt we'll get to go. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. But so far, some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of cool stuff. So we'll see what else rolls out.
Yeah, I like how they're kind of, giving us little by little each week, new guests and things. Because I imagine probably next week we'll probably get the Eric Singer announcement. I would be shocked if Eric Singer wasn't also involved.
Well, they gotta have the drummers,
obviously.
Yeah, because I don't know if Peter Criss is gonna be there or not. We'll see.
Yeah, that's the part I'm curious to see. Is we still don't know. Like, do you think Ace and Peter will be involved? Because that was kind of the first thing we thought of when we heard special guests. Because in this capacity, it makes a little bit more sense and seems like a higher possibility.
Yeah, I mean,
than for the tour.
To me, it seems like a higher possibility that they would be a part of this event. But
right.
I don't know. I would like to see it happen, but
it'll be something where they're not necessarily announced as special guests, but when it gets real close, if they're free and they're willing to cooperate, it'll be a fun surprise. I don't know.
Because, I mean, in my mind, it would be easy just to have them involved and have them at their own separate thing.
Okay, like at their own booths or something.
But if they're there and they don't get up on stage...
See, I don't think they would do that
There is no perfect way to appease everybody.
And I don't think they would be happy just being a photo op and not playing.
No. Just because of the past and how difficult they have been on purpose.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if they're not there. But because this is a very important event where, again, you're not dealing with Madison Square Garden on stage. It's a very, this is a little bit more of a controlled environment.
Right, a little bit more laid back, too.
A little more laid back and obviously a little bit more pricey. So, you can do special things like that and maybe get away with it. But I don't know. Again, I just feel like if they're going to try and recapture that same magic from '95 at the convention or the Unplugged, it's like, good luck. It'll be fun to see. But who knows?
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said it best. We'll probably hear more announcements coming soon. So we'll be touching on this as things roll out. But I thought it was really cool. We got a nice string of announcements there, including Tommy, Black and Blue, Sebastian Bach, a couple of tribute bands, and of course, our fearless leaders, Bill Starkey and Jay Evans. So, in other KISS news, Paul Stanley made an appearance in makeup again.
Yes!
Except it was in a commercial for Workday, which was the same company that he appeared in an ad for the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think it was this year. Yeah, this year's Super Bowl.
This year's? No, that would have been a couple months ago. I think it would have been last year's Super Bowl.
Was it really? It doesn't feel that long ago.
Check your phone. Search 2023 Paul Stanley, something like that, 2024. I remember making memes about it.
It was not 2 years ago, I know that. Maybe last year.
It's been a couple years at most.
That is crazy. You are right. 2023? Why does that... I was like, that was this year, or last year at the earliest. But...
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun.
That's wild.
But
because to me, I was like, it wasn't even that much of a surprise because I thought that just happened.
Yeah.
But no.
But yeah, so Paul made his first appearance in makeup since Madison Square Garden, and this had fans, divided, of course.
Why? Who
because
cares?
Should Paul really be making an appearance in the makeup for a corporate commercial? Is that really rock and roll? Is that really, people are finding all... When I saw that commercial, man, I had the biggest smile on my face. It was so funny. He's sitting there, tossing. Why are we doing this with the salad?
It was great. He was like, "This is a slide.
Any questions?" Yeah.
And they're like, "Yes, so many."
So many questions.
So good.
The best part was him in the outfit.
Yeah.
Because he was wearing that vest, that sweater vest or whatever it was.
The vest and the button up.
But yeah, he still has the hair and the
makeup.
The makeup. And
the boots.
And the boots. When he's walking out, he's like, "Good night."
That was my favorite.
Of the shift.
I'll see you tomorrow.
That was funny.
There was pyro and everything. Yeah, walking out of the office.
Yeah, they even went to the trouble of recreating the KISS stage.
Yeah.
There was a moment where you saw Paul on stage and you see amps and pyro and he's in his outfit. So he got dressed up in the outfit.
It makes me wonder how long ago this was filmed.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Just because it's coming out now doesn't mean this isn't something that wasn't filmed, a year ago or more.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It could have been filmed forever ago. It could have been in the can. It could have been something they filmed last week.
Yeah.
Who knows? But
because it was some of the same other like rock stars. Because it's not just him. It also features Billy Idol and Gwen Stefani.
Yeah.
And I think they were, at least Billy was. I don't know about Gwen, but they were in some of the ones in 23 as well. So
yeah, I don't think Gwen was.
Maybe not. It was somebody else.
It was Joan Jett.
Joan Jett, yeah.
It was Joan Jett and
there was another younger person though. I thought.
I can't remember his name. Was it Lenny Kravitz?
Maybe Lenny Kravitz.
Maybe,
I'm not sure.
Something like that.
But it's a funny concept for a corporate type of
commercial.
And
again, I know for most folks it's silly and it doesn't make sense, and who cares about Workday and their AI bullcrap
no,
anyway.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about the company for 1 second.
I don't care either. But anytime rock and roll is going to be used in a fun way, you know, I'm cool with it. Yeah. And Paul, he's funny. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great. There's a few different versions that are out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought it was fun. Of course, everybody's going to find a way to spin it, but it reminds me of the commercial that Gene did a couple years ago for that Australian gambling or whatever it was, online
that was
sports
so
betting.
Random.
That was hilarious. And
I forgot about that one.
Gene's breathing fire, and he's in the guy's bed or whatever. That whole thing was funny. So yeah, I don't really care, when these guys are featured in commercial. I think it's funny. Yeah. I really don't read into it too much. I just thought it was cool and maybe a little bit, newsworthy here to mention.
Yeah.
Paul Stanley in the makeup for the first time. But we have some Ace news to get to. This is kind of old news. I was going to mention it a while back, but never did. But nothing earth-shattering. But apparently Ace has changed his mind as far as who he's working with as producer on Origins Volume 3. So,
really?
He posted a picture of him in the studio recording and mixing and all that, and mentioned Alex Salzman, who was the producer for Origins Volume 1 and Volume 2, and welcomes him back for Origins Volume 3. And it was previously stated that Ace was going to be using Steve Brown, who helped produce 10,000 Volts.
That's what I thought.
And they were going to work together on this new Origins album. Now, I don't know the behind the scenes if, another deal was made or a deal fell through, or if plans were pushed back or whatever, but I guess Ace decided to go with Alex again.
Interesting.
To produce Volume 3, or Origins, Volume 3.
Yeah, okay.
So, again, nothing earth-shattering, but Ace posted, and he was like, yeah, I listened to Origins and 10,000 Volts side by side, and it sounded the same, and I was like, your ears are off, but okay. 10,000 Volts was definitely, I think
it's a very highly produced
album, whereas Origins was very much stripped back. And actually, when I listened to Fire and Water with Ace and Paul, I'm like, this could have been produced and should have been much better sounding. But again, it's rock and roll. Maybe Ace is wanting to go for that.
He may be
going for that scaled back, loose,
less
gritty,
polished,
raw rock and roll album that Alex brought. So hey, I get it. Cool, good for him. I do think he said that he'll bring Steve back for the next All Originals album.
I respect that.
Which, that's fine.
Well, and at a certain point, it's kind of nice to have that consistency across, because this is a series of albums.
Yeah.
And that's kind of nice to have that same producer for all three, so I get it.
Yeah. I'm excited for Origins. I mean, I haven't really been the most excited for this series, but, we've been following Ace pretty closely the past couple years, and so I'm pretty excited for it. I'll definitely check it out. We'll definitely do a review here. I'm pretty sure that Ace is still shooting for the end of this year.
Okay, so there's not been a specific release date announced yet?
No, Ace has just been saying that he hopes to have it done and released by the end of this year at the earliest, maybe early next year at the very latest.
Okay.
So we could, we got 10,000 Volts last year. We could be getting a new Ace album this year too, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, more on that whenever news is developing, but I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what covers he does. I can't wait to see the track list.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, good point, because he's done already 2 volumes, so it's like, the more you do, the less options you have. But Ace, he's always been really good with covers, and then he's even done a couple Kiss covers, because he never played on Rock and Roll Hell on Creatures of the Night, but yet he covered Rock and Roll Hell.
That's true.
For one of his Origins albums, so that was really cool. And he did a cover of She and Parasite, which, as we know, are Kiss songs, one of which is his Kiss song. So, yeah, I'm sure it'll be great nonetheless. But we'll move on to some Gene Simmons news now. This is, again, nothing earth-shattering, but I thought it was really cool to hear that Gene is going to be appearing in an official Iron Maiden documentary.
Oh, okay.
I think I mentioned this to you briefly.
Yes, you did.
Like a week or so ago.
Yeah.
And because, again, there was an episode last week, I never got to mention it. But, yeah, I guess Iron Maiden is also celebrating 50 years. Yeah, there's a little bit of Iron Maiden news mixed in with Kiss. So if you're a Maiden fan, you're going to get a little daily dose of some Maiden news, too. But, yeah, so I guess Maiden has been around for 50 years now.
That is wild.
And they are putting an official documentary out later this year, I believe. And it's going to be featuring a lot of fans of the band. And two of those fans that they're including are Lars Ulrich from Metallica and Gene Simmons from Kiss.
How cool.
And again, just the amount of online, the reception of this, Gene being included in this documentary is, people are just confused, they're unhappy.
Why?
Because nobody likes Gene and they don't want Gene in the documentary. But what they don't realize is that Gene is a huge Iron Maiden fan.
Yeah, and he will take this seriously.
And like Gene,
I don't think people
don't realize that Gene loves rock and roll.
Well, and people don't understand that the Gene that people hate is the character and is the version of him that he only really uses when it is somewhat acceptable to do so, and it's like funny and works.
Yeah.
But when necessary and when the situation calls for it, he's a real person.
Yeah.
And he can be very genuine, and in fact is one of the most genuine people. I mean, you've met him and spoken with him and had like a really genuine, serious connection moment with him.
Yeah.
He's not that guy that you think he is.
No, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say because fans will know that Kiss took Iron Maiden out on their first like big stadium tour. Back in 1980, Iron Maiden opened for Kiss on several dates on the Unmasked tour, which is crazy to think about. Iron Maiden opening for Kiss on the Unmasked tour. But you got Eric Carr in the band, so that must have been a crazy time. But yeah, so Gene and Lars are both going to be featured. They're going to, give testimonies about working with the bands. Or just talking about. I mean, we don't know, but we can assume that it's going to be all love, all rock and roll,
of course,
all good stuff. But I'm excited to see, in what capacity Gene's role is, and then I'd be really interested in seeing some unreleased footage.
Ooh,
what if somebody had some like unreleased backstage footage of Kiss from the Unmasked tour and Maiden like interacting,
hanging out,
traveling, rehearsing, sound check, whatever it is.
That would be so cool.
Because we all know that when they do these documentaries, the best thing about those documentaries is to have unreleased footage.
Yeah. To
have that, historical element. And so, I don't know, maybe somebody out there somewhere somehow has photos, even if it's just photos. Photos or some 8mm film or whatever of Kiss and Iron Maiden back in 1980. That'd be wild to see.
That'd be so cool.
But, I don't know. We'll see. Apparently, the documentary is also going to feature the very last interview with the band's original vocalist. Paul, I think his last name is Diano. But he was Iron Maiden's original singer. Most folks know Bruce Dickinson because he's been there the longest.
Right.
But Paul was the original, and he was the one that was with the band at this time opening.
Okay.
So, and they're going to include, he passed away, unfortunately, I think last year. But this documentary is going to have the last official interview with the original Maiden vocalist, who got to meet Kiss and rekindle or connect with Kiss back in 2022.
That's true.
We talked about this.
I remember that.
When he passed away, we talked about how he was at the first Kiss show in what country? I forget what country it was. It was the first Kiss concert in that country. And he got to do the meet and greet, or basically got the meet and greet treatment.
Yeah.
And got to hang out with Kiss backstage.
That
even though he
so
was
cool.
I think he was in a wheelchair and wasn't able to, probably
I
fully
remember the
enjoy
photos. Yeah.
the experience, but how cool was that?
That's awesome.
He's going to be, he'll be featured in the documentary. Gene will be in the documentary. So, yeah, I don't know when that's coming out, but it is slated for release this year, featuring Gene. which I think is great. Who knows? I'm assuming they'll have like other actual random fans in it.
Yeah.
But the fact that they've got like rock stars, like Lars and
especially ones that have
Gene,
had experiences and interactions with the band. Yeah.
I'm interested to hear what Lars has to say. Lars is interesting too when you get him in an interview.
Yeah, for sure.
You never know what Lars you're going to get, so that'll be fun too. But again, guys, just a really quick and easy episode, light and breezy. And the last thing I wanted to mention, I saw this on social media. I haven't been able to verify it myself, but maybe somebody else can. But I heard that Kiss Unplugged has been uploaded to Paramount Plus. A lot of Unplugged.
You know what? I actually saw. I'm so glad you said that because I saw. This is true, or at least a lot of Unplugged shows have been uploaded.
I saw that a lot of Unplugged shows were put on Paramount Plus.
I saw this a couple of weeks ago, and I meant to say something, and for us to look it up when I got home that day or something, completely left my brain.
For sure.
So I'm so glad you said that, because we need to check that out.
We do. I would love to check it out. The fact that Kiss is on Paramount Plus is wild.
I'm pretty sure there's a Paul McCartney one, too, that I'd love to see.
Oh, that could be fun.
I kind of just want to go through those and see.
Maybe we should just watch Unplugged and just check out some artists that we don't usually watch.
That'd be awesome, because that was such a cool thing that they did. Like, it kind of reminds me, obviously, different scale. Unplugged was a bigger thing. But you know how on YouTube NPR does the Tiny Desk concerts now?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like
it strips it down and focuses only on the music.
Exactly. It's a cool, different way for artists to showcase some of their songs and to have more intimate interactions with fans in like a small setting. And I just think it's so neat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that.
We definitely should. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, I do have some Kiss stuff to show you guys.
Of course.
So welcome to The Collector's Corner. It is one of my favorite parts of the show. Today, we finally have... I'm starting off with this one.
Okay.
Because this is the one.
Ooh.
This is the one that I've been waiting for since February. Remember? This
finally.
is the one...
Okay.
Yes. This is the one that has been trapped in indie.
Yeah.
For...
months.
Almost months, at this point. But finally it has been released. Finally it is in my care. It is in my custody. So let's go ahead and open up this one. I've been waiting to show this one for a couple months. And of course there is a story behind it. So I'll just get to the item itself before I tell the story here. Alrighty. There we go.
Okay, Kiss 40.
Japanese copy of Kiss 40. So... I already thought I had the Japanese copy of Kiss 40. Turns out what I had was the best of Kiss 40. The Japanese best of Kiss 40.
Which is a whole different thing.
There was no American release of the best of. It was just Kiss 40.
Okay.
And then there was Kiss 40 in Japan. But several months later, see, now this pieces together. This pieces together a lot.
Okay.
Because when Samurai Sun was released, and we talked about that, I'm not sure if I talked about it here on the show or if it was on social media or whatever, but I was confused. Maybe it was just with you privately. I was talking about the release date of Samurai Sun.
Oh, yeah, we were
and
confused.
how it conflicted with my memory.
Yes.
Because,
and even looking it up, it didn't add up.
Yeah, because I can think back to getting Kiss 40 in 2014.
Yeah.
And I'm looking on screen asking, why does the release date for Samurai Sun say January 2015?
Right.
Why am I losing 6 months in my brain? Which, that's not, my memory sucks anyway, but that's 6 months of lost time. What's happening? Okay. Turns out this is the version that came out along with the American version of Kiss 40 in the spring, summer of 2014.
Okay.
And then in 2015, Samurai Sun was released with MCZ, both MCZ version and, Samurai Sun.
Right.
And best of Japanese Kiss 40. All at the same time.
Okay.
So, I never got this one.
Gotcha.
I only got the American... Yeah. I bought the American one and then several months later, the best of
the Japanese one. And that's the only Japanese one.
And that one's the one I bought. And it was a single disc. And I'm like, well, why is this one a single disc? And, so I just... For some reason, I don't know, it's a very easy fix. But again, when you're me, sometimes things are just harder than they need to be. But I was able to find a Japanese copy of Kiss 40 here.
Nice.
And it's a lot thicker than our version. You can see that's a big difference there.
Yeah, and it's like heavier.
Yeah. So there must be, I think, a bonus DVD with the...
It just says 2...
It's weird.
It just says 2 CDs, though.
2 CDs. And what's at the bottom there where it says 19 and 20?
I don't know.
Isn't that wild?
It's in Japanese, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely heavier, though. Are you going to open it, or are you keeping it sealed?
I don't know. If I need to, I will.
Because I'm kind of curious if there's like...
Yeah, it just says 2 CD.
I feel like, is there like a poster or something in there?
Maybe it's just extra packaging or something.
Maybe
I don't
it's
know.
just extra inserts or something.
But still really cool. I mean, obviously anything Japanese is fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. I thought I had them both. Here, I'll go ahead and show the best of here.
Nice.
So there you go. There's the best of Kiss 4. I just couldn't tell because it's obviously in Japanese.
I was going to say, yeah, it does not say best of in English anywhere, so it's an easy mistake.
To me, I was just like, oh, this is the Japanese Kiss 4.
Yeah, and you just kind of assume that their version is white like that. So.
But no, that is not the case. That is
cool.
A different copy. And I'm going to need to get another CD rack.
Oh, is it full?
It's, at this point, pretty much full. I'm going to need to get a new CD rack. And it's funny, this is actually a prerequisite to the Japanese soundboard I'm going to be getting.
Ooh.
I already have one Japanese import. Now I'm waiting on my other one, which is the Japanese Asylum soundboard.
One.
But yeah, so this one...
Do you know when that's...
Or does it not ship? April 30th.
Okay.
It ships April 30th, so I'm not going to get that one until probably June, July.
Yeah, at this rate.
Let's face it, I'll probably get that one in June or July.
Yeah, just don't hold your breath.
No, I won't make it. No, absolutely not.
Luckily, you have your custom one that you just made. Check out the last video.
Facts. Yeah, there you guys go. So, hopefully you guys saw the last video. I told you guys I was going to make my own cover for you guys, and then I decided to make a video out of it, and uploaded the artwork for free on Patreon. So if you somehow missed that episode, no big deal. Not an episode, but a video. Check out last week's video where I created custom artwork for the new Kiss Asylum soundboard, and then it's on our Patreon for free. You can download it and print off your own cover, burn your own CD. Yeah, and you can see here we have our own little 2-disc set here. I'm dropping everything now. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get the Kiss knife out. Haha, yes. Okay, so this is... okay, for sure. It's a couple of newspaper ads for some shows in Indiana.
Whoa,
so
cool.
You guys know me. I've been on an Indiana Kiss kick the last couple years. And I found newspaper cutouts of an ad from the show that Kiss played on the Crazy Nights tour here in Indiana.
Nice. And
then I also have an ad from the Farewell tour when Kiss played on May 20th. So I think there might even be a third one in there. How many ads did I get? Jeez.
I don't know.
But yeah, so obviously I love, ads. I love Kiss, and I live in Indiana, so I've been kind of collecting anything that I can find that relates to Kiss in Indiana. And I've seen all of these ads before, but never, in person, never owned them. So this is really cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so here we go. So this is from Kiss Market Square Arena, Sunday, December 27th. They called it the Holiday Festival Jam 87.
Wow.
So there's one ad there. And then, okay, so both of these are from May 20th on the Farewell tour. Just small little newspaper ads there. But yeah, really cool.
That's so neat.
I'm going to add them to my Kiss Indiana collection. Maybe I'll get individual frames for them and kind of, I'll put them up somewhere. But yeah, nothing wrong with a little bit of Indiana history there.
I love it.
So interesting. I thought that... Oh, no, wait. Nope. I know what it is. Okay, for sure. I thought those were going to come in 2 packages. So I was kind of wondering, well, what is this? And then I just remembered.
Okay.
This might be the best one.
Ooh.
So check this out. This is a Kiss ticket from 1976.
Wow, in Indiana?
August 2nd, yeah. August 2nd, 1976, when Kiss was in Indiana playing on the Destroyer tour.
Nice.
This is the only Kiss ticket I have from the 70s.
From the 70s? Can I see?
I have tickets from the 80s, tickets from the 90s, and then, of course, I have all of my tickets, well, most of my tickets, the ones that we had physical ones for, from the 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. But that right there is the first Kiss ticket that I own. from the 70s. So
that is so
really
cool.
cool piece of Indiana history.
$6.50.
Yeah. Yep. And then nowadays you move that decimal over a couple of spots.
Yeah.
Now it's $650.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but yeah, I'm so glad to have this piece of history here. I'm glad that people are, so keen on keeping their tickets and then, we're selling it off. So I'm glad to have this in my collection. This is going to be a nice piece. Maybe at some point I'll have a ticket stub for every single concert in Indiana.
Yeah, eventually.
Or Kiss concert in Indiana. Not every concert period
every
in Indiana.
concert ever.
Every Kiss concert in Indiana. Perhaps one day I'll have. I
think that's a good goal. I think you
have
can do that.
Probably 20 at this point.
Yeah.
Probably more than that. And Kisses, they've played like, I think 70, 72 shows.
I think it's an achievable goal.
Possibly. But nevertheless, there it is today.
Good start.
Kiss ticket from 76. And then I think I only have one item left. This showed up a couple days ago.
I'm so excited to see this.
Me too, although I'm bummed that it came partially opened and it's already slightly damaged.
Yeah.
But it is the way it is. It is the way it is. This is the brand new coloring book from Eyesore Merch. Check it out. Did we get 2?
I think we did.
Did we get 2?
I think we did. I can't remember.
Was my intention to give one away, or was it to use?
I think your intention was to use one, keep one. Maybe.
Nice. Xander.
Can I just go ahead and steal this? I gotta see it.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, I forgot that I... Oh, okay. We have some extra stuff here.
Cool.
Nothing important. I don't think there's anything...
Nothing Kiss.
Nothing Kiss on here. Nothing Kiss there. But we do have the first official Kiss coloring book. And oh my gosh, it says the magic number. What's the magic number on the back? 2025.
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Finally, I have something with 2025. I only have 2 things now with 2025 on it, even though I've bought a lot of things that are new this year.
Oh, this is cool.
So, anyway, there is a company that, Rock and Roll Coloring. They are huge fans of rock and roll, huge fans of coloring books. So the guys that own it release officially licensed coloring books for rock bands. I think they did Cannibal Corpse.
What?
So now, they also have Motorhead, Judas Priest, Megadeth, Thin Lizzy, Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden, Volume 2 Iron Maiden, Rodney Matthews, Mark Wilkinson, and yes, Cannibal Corpse.
Wow,
Gosh,
Cannibal Corpse
nothing
coloring
is
book,
more
huh?
metal than a Cannibal Corpse coloring book. We can do to color it red because it's all blood.
Right.
Anyway, so here is the Destroyer coloring book. I'll go ahead and give you guys a little preview of some of the pages here.
This is awesome.
Very, very cool. It's not a coloring book that's really for kids. You can tell that it's very intricate.
Maybe older kids, and there are actually certain pages that a kid could do. A lot of them are really complicated, but then there's like some more simple ones that are just like some shapes, and there's like a cute little teddy bear one. Although I think my favorite might be this Star Child one. I don't know if you can see that at all. It's very thin lines, but
this one's called Kiss Reanimalize.
And they're actual animals.
Yeah, this is called Kiss. At the bottom it says Reanimalize, and the members are Gene is a lion, Paul is a dog, Ace is both Ace and Peter are cats. Very interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Reanimalize. There's some Animalize artwork right there too.
Yeah.
That looks like the Animalize Poughkeepsie artwork.
It does.
From the t-shirt, Spirit of 76. The Demon. Yeah, this looks pretty... Could you imagine coloring Destroyer?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Golly, that's like...
And it's like, do you try and make it accurate, or do you get creative with it?
That is a task. Oh, there's the cover. I guess the cover is Destroyer too, so... That's really cool.
I just noticed this this last page just has a tiny demon in the corner, and it says, "For your doodles." The rest of the page is for your doodles.
I like that, actually.
So maybe if it inspires you to...
Gosh, again, could you imagine coloring Sonic Boom?
Yeah, that's cool.
Jeez, that's crazy. Hey, you got some the new current lineup, though. That's awesome. Is there any Eric Carr? Probably not. I mean, they have Hot in the Shade, but I doubt there's any Eric Carr makeup.
I don't think so.
I don't think they own the makeup.
I think, they'd have to pay to license it.
I wonder if Loretta owns the makeup.
Probably.
Either way, still really cool. Lots of fun stuff. I saw some folks posting about theirs, so I know that other folks have theirs too, but you can still go online, I'm pretty sure, and buy yours. This is also an import, so this came from the UK.
Okay.
So if you do buy it, you might have to wait a little bit for it to import, but still really cool. Can't believe it's taken to 2025 for there to be the first official Kiss coloring book. But hey, we're here. It's there. It's awesome, and we have 2.
Yep.
So nothing wrong there. Last thing we have is the Kiss calendar. I don't think there's anything too crazy happening with the Kiss calendar. We are officially in April now. We have April 27th is Ace's birthday. He'll be turning 74.
Wow.
And as of now, our show May 3rd is on for
Still
Gene.
on. Yeah.
So that's really good. I'm going to go ahead and mark that one down. The show with Gene. Yeah.
Less than a month now. See, that's promising to me that it hasn't been canceled yet. I feel like if it was... I mean, who knows? Who knows? But everything else seemed to have been canceled all at once or in rapid succession. So that gives me hope.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, everything else was canceled, and those ones that, I don't think a single one has been canceled since. As a matter of fact, he's been adding more dates now.
Has he really?
He's going to be appearing at, in Knoxville, I think, at some kind of convention or something.
Okay.
And then he's also booking convention performances and cruises.
Okay, so
he's going to be on some rock and roll cruises coming up and things like that, so...
Just kind of pivoting.
He's pivoting a little bit, yeah.
Focus a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong, you're on May.
Oh, yeah, I am on May, for sure, you're right. So, yeah, nothing, again, we had Ace's birthday. We have a Gene concert coming up in May. Fun stuff. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on episode 135. Again, just a nice, quick, easy, breezy episode. Kind of like a hit-and-run episode. Kiss did a hit-and-run tour in the mid-2000s. We're doing a hit-and-run episode on episode 135. I'm glad everybody's here and is joining us. Please like, follow, and subscribe. I have lots of awesome stuff coming, and some big news coming in the next couple months. So definitely stay tuned. And then also, guys, let me know if you're interested in traveling to Indiana. If you're serious, if you would seriously consider traveling to Indiana to come to my Kiss Expo, would you do it? It's not going to feature, again, everything cool that's happening is going to happen in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay? So my hands are tied as far as what I can do. But I have some ideas. And so if you're interested in coming to a low-key Kiss event where you would pay $20 to get in the door, and that's it. You can buy and do whatever else you want. What's that sound like to you guys? If that sounds fun to you guys, let me know. If you're in the Midwest area, definitely let me know, because I'm seriously considering putting on an event in Indiana this fall, celebrating 50 years of the Kiss Army. Of course, it started here in Indiana, so I think it should be celebrated here in Indiana as well.
It's only right.
It's only right. Of course, the Vegas event is the Vegas event. Nothing is going to be cooler, bigger, and better than that. But just to have as much celebration as possible.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with more.
In the home state.
Yeah, and especially for people that may not be able to go to Vegas and may not be able to afford that, but are closer to us and can afford a $20
Yeah, exactly. Admission.
I'm
thinking like, as opposed to, again, because all the expos, it's just, you pay just to pay more. You pay to get in, just to pay for a photo, just to pay for an autograph. And it's like, I don't know, maybe I can get a bunch of Kiss podcasters, maybe the ones that aren't going to Vegas. We can get some Kiss podcasters, get some Kiss YouTubers together for an event here in Indiana.
A few vendors.
We'll set up a Kiss Expo. We'll have Kiss merchandise to sell. We'll do a raffle. We'll do trivia. We'll do karaoke. We'll do whatever, and maybe a costume contest. We'll have some exclusive stuff and just have a fun, low-key Kiss convention.
Yeah.
As opposed to
sounds great.
One of those, high-scale events where it's like you got to pay an arm and a leg just to get in.
Right. Let alone if you want to buy anything.
If you're going to actually, purchase and collect and things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm toying with the idea, but I just need to know that more than 5 folks would show up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm. I want to make sure it's worth it if I'm going to go through the effort of, booking an entire space.
Yeah.
And because if I do it, I'm not just going to half-ass it. It's going to be awesome. So... again, I want to make sure that folks are actually interested in that. But again, so leave me your comments on what you think about that. Leave me your comments on what you think about the upcoming Kiss Army Rocks Vegas event. Are you excited about the recent announcements? What announcements do you hope to see? And then, of course, if you're like me and you're collecting Kiss, what is it? What are you collecting at this point in 2025? I want to know. Drop in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys here. We will see you in episode 136 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. My name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
Take care, guys. Peace out.